You can always add more to a painting, but you need to
There we go.
realize that the painting's already been done.
Like, at what day and moment was I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I wish I could go back and kick that sumbitch in the dick.
Whatever somebody's going through,
Me
like
fucking up.
even the little things are things that like progressively get bigger. Like there's ways around it. There's ways to like go through it. There really is.
Everything has a consequence. Everything changes with every decision that you make.
It's pumped. It's ready to go.
This is me versus me.
There's pretty generally every fucking episode,
Yeah.
I have like some kind of a hiccup when I'm trying to get this thing going.
I've heard.
Every fucking time. And it's like, I haven't figured it out by now. No, I just have a bunch of shit to click and a bunch of shit to go over.
Uh-huh.
And there's been episodes that I can't post because shit's not set up right.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It pisses me off because I'm like, I was an hour and a half in this motherfucker and I can't post it. And I gotta text somebody and be like, hey, I'm really sorry, but you wasted your time. So
Sorry,
I
your
can't,
stuff wasn't good enough to be posted.
can't use your content. You suck. No, I'm kidding. Welcome,
Thank you.
Siyah.
Yes.
Is that your actual name?
Yes. Siyah.
Your full name?
Yep.
Wow. What's your full name?
Siyah Monique Orsonio.
Okay. I've always kind of wondered. I'm like, Siyah. That's got to be like short for something
No.
or.
It's just a complicated name all the way around.
Hey, I got one of them too. It's all right.
Sage is not complicated.
I have 2 middle names and a shitty last name.
You know mine. Let's hear yours.
Sage Michael Kaufman Bogardus. So
That's really not that hard.
goes from like hippie to white to what the fuck did you just say to me?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Accurate.
My last name's Dutch and Hungarian.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just found out I am Spanish and Portuguese, which
Po-
makes sense for my eyes because when I get stoned, I get really like squinty. It's really bad. And when I smile.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No idea where that came from. but
Yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck it. So you said the last 2 years, huh?
The last 2 years of trying to get this thing off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The first year was a compilation of learning and trying to figure out all this stuff because I'm not like super retarded when it comes to like tech stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm not, but this was all way out of my roadhouse. Like I had no idea about. I mean, there's a reason people fucking have engineering degrees for this kind of shit.
Right.
You know? And I started off on a fucking desktop computer that I still have. It's a cute little Dell. Like a $40 podcast kit off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And just sat down at my dining room table and I was like, all right, let's figure this out.
Uh-huh.
And it was such a shit show. Like most of the year.
Yeah.
It was such a shit show. And then I finally like started getting handled. You know what I did is I went to like a Guitar Center one day and I just started asking the audio guy. I started picking the fuck out of his brain. I started asking him a million questions and he thought like I felt bad because he really thought he was gonna have a big sell.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day I was like, all right, cool, dude, well, I'll be back. He's like, oh
He's probably like, get this guy out of here.
yeah, fucking this guy just raped like 2 hours of my time.
Oh, God.
But now I have a pretty solid handle, and that's what this last year has been. Has been just tuning in and dialing in, and I'm still not done.
Yeah, you're not going to be. It's going to be continuous learning.
Well, that's what the rest of this is for. Is the table is fairly new, as I'm sure you've seen. That's going to be for 4. So the expansion is coming. It's just going to take quite a bit of money.
Oh, yeah. So I've heard.
So here we are.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Big change, you know. It'll be nice. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to organize it, but it'll be nice. I'm hoping that part just comes kind of naturally.
Yeah.
So,
What will it take for you to do this full time?
the one thing that I do not have any clue about is like the marketing and the monetization. I'm not familiar with all that stuff, which I need to be. I just haven't had the time to really like fucking headfirst into that.
Yeah.
Are you asking like physically what would it take, or like for me?
For you to make that decision for yourself.
Money.
Well, yes.
I know, but that's what I want to do. Ultimately, that's what I would love to do. I would love to. If I had my way, I would open my days up completely, and I I mean, 1 or 2 a day is not fucking out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, not at all.
You know? So, I would love to do that. I already post, well, lately I've been slacking, but I already released 2 a week. Mm-hmm. I've been kind of going through some shit, so it's been a little bit slower. Try and do like 1 a week.
Understandable.
Which apparently is still a higher frequency than other podcasts.
Yeah, I feel like that's about right.
So,
I don't really listen to podcasts, usually.
I joined
Very one-off.
some social media pages, and I'm not going to use the word funny, but it's entertaining to see all the beginners going through the shit. And they're like, oh, yeah, we try to put out like 1 a month. Like, oh, my Lord.
What's the benefit of that?
1 a month? Yeah, like you.
Well, I think it also depends on the length of the episodes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's one of the big things I ran into when I first started this was we look to make sure that this concept of what I'm doing is not relevant. And there are actually podcasts with the same name.
Oh.
But they're from like years and years ago, and they're only like 10-minute sessions.
Oh. That's
So,
odd.
and it's just like one person like kind of just disclosing how they feel about something.
So someone needed a friend.
Right.
Okay.
And I was like, I support you, but you're you're old and outdated now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this name.
You're like, time to be new and improved.
Yep. And now if you search me on Spotify, if you search that name on Spotify, it's like one of the first 2 to come up.
I found it.
So, yes.
You're like, look at me go.
Fuck yeah. That's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Any
So.
steps is the right step in the right direction.
Oh, I wish I believed that more.
I had to tell myself that today. I was like, trying to get my shit together. Can I cuss on here?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm trying to get myself together, but it's still a work in progress, but at least it's progress.
Yeah. Yeah. In the real world, small steps are the most important. You know, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
You said get your shit together, and I mean, I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
yeah. Well, I just feel like I am drowning at the moment. Like I have classes, I work, I'm helping people constantly. So just trying to keep my head above water is really like what I've been struggling with.
Right.
And so just trying to keep my ducks in a row and just trying to do whatever I can to keep going. Like progress is progress. Like even with school, if I do like a quarter of an assignment a day, at least it's a quarter of it done towards the finish line,
I really hate to it sucks so bad when you try to like discipline yourself, but one of the biggest things that I try to reflect on pretty often is just just show up one more day.
Yep.
And if that's your progress, then that's your progress. But you fucking got up and you did it one more day.
Yeah.
So, and you said you're going to school, you got full-time work.
Yep. And yep.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, it's a good time.
Ah, it sounds like shit. What are you going to school for?
I am a biomedical major with minors in chemistry and psychology. So again, it's as fun as it sounds.
You might want to dumb that down a little bit.
I'm a science nerd, and I took most of my college credits before I even went to college.
No
So
shit.
I graduated at 16 from high school, went straight to college at 17. I did online classes, summer school, night school, whatever. And by the time I got to actual college, like the university, all of my prereqs were done. All I had was bio and chem classes left for my degree.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's why I added the psych minor to kind of add a little change in there besides science. So it's fun, but it's not. Oh.
That's, you're fucking throwing one flavor of vodka in with two flavors of tequila there.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus.
And originally I wanted to do like stuff with research. And that's why I was doing that degree. But so far my career path has taken me in a completely different direction, and I make a great amount of money for my age, and it'd be stupid to walk away from it. So I'm like
Right.
kind of getting my degree at this point for no reason. But
Maybe.
I'm thinking, it's currently in the works, about switching from getting that degree and that bachelor's degree to a radiology technician, like certificate, degree, whatever it's called, because they make a great amount of money and it'd be easier to fall back on versus like just a bachelor's degree that starts at $13 an hour.
Right,
minimum?
yeah. They're going to look at you and be like, well, do you have experience?
Right.
Well, fuck you.
I mean, I have a little bit of experience I was up at NAU for a couple years for when I first went to college, and then I came back down. So I did a little bit of lab work up there, but other than that, yeah, everything I do is computer systems, stuff like that.
What do you do for work now?
I am a honestly have no idea. But my title is a data specialist.
No
I am
idea.
a global data specialist for the customer domain for a global manufacturing company.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But I'm salary, so I don't have like hours I need to work.
Mhm.
And so I'll have like maybe a meeting or two a day. And other than that, I don't do anything. It is a
Okay.
beautiful life.
Yeah. Damn, you fell into something good there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It'd be stupid for me to walk away from it.
I hate that fucking that personal debate that you're bouncing off of right now.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks because it's not always the money that makes you happy.
Right.
And I know that's cliche, but
You're right, though. But what I value more is the flexibility.
right.
Like being able to have my free time, having my days free.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, me personally, the only reason that I'm striving for any kind of money is just so I can do what I want with my time.
Yeah.
I don't really want much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you got that with it,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
pretty fucking legit.
Well, I would if, rent wasn't so expensive and
Oh yeah,
the cost of living just astronomically high. But
it's super nice.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it so much.
I should not be paying more than my parents' mortgage for my apartment. It's ridiculous.
I know what I'm not supposed to ask, but how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's at that age. I'm actually surprised that you understand that concept because that was something growing up. Having an apartment was always like super cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and then the mortgage was always super cheap too.
Mm-hmm.
But now renting is
It's ridiculous.
renting is fucking 3 times worse than mortgage now, and
yeah, and you're just throwing away the money.
And
You're building no equity.
nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's literally just trying to survive.
Yep.
And then even having a mortgage is almost unattainable
Mm-hmm.
by some standards anyway.
Just trying to get a house in general is ridiculous because all of the managing companies are buying out properties for,
Mhm.
however much more than they need to be, outbidding everyone else that needs houses.
I feel like we have a weird perspective out here. I don't know, what area do you live in?
North Phoenix.
Okay, so similar.
Ish.
Okay. So like we have kind of a unique cuz like Phoenix is old.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you move farther north, it gets newer.
That's where I'm at.
But then it's like there's a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a dead end, but at a certain point, the development stops, and now all the new development has moved super far west and south,
Yeah.
and super far east.
Uh-huh.
So the 10 freeway is getting the brunt of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice because it's taking the traffic with it. I've lived in this area my entire life.
Okay.
So watching traffic kind of like overwhelm for a little bit,
Uh-huh.
I was like, fuck, time to leave.
Yep.
But then everything is branching out so far now that I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, branching out to my end. I'm past the 303, like the 17 and the 303.
Oh yeah, you're
I'm,
seeing some of that.
Yeah, I'm right off of Carefree Highway in the 17. So
All the desert that comes up on the lake is about to get filled in,
absolutely.
and they're doing that with that chip plant.
Yeah. It's
Woo.
crazy.
You're about to see it.
Yeah. I think a lot of my property, like my apartment complex, is filled with those chip plant workers. I can't talk. Because like we have an option for like month-to-month renting,
Oh yeah.
which is not
Oh,
usual.
that's
for a lot of
definitely
places.
relevant to that.
Yeah.
Whether that's construction or employees.
Because we're right off the freeway on the other side from them. Yeah, they've actually taken a lot of our company's employees, or our associates as we call them. So much so that a friend of mine applied to both that company and my company, and my company responded first. So, he took the job with us. But then the chip plant called them, and he was like, oh, sorry, like I already took a job with a different company. They're like, can we ask who you took it with? And he was like, oh, it's called WL Gore. And he's like, oh, those guys is what the other company said. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
don't do
Hey.
that.
What?
Yeah.
Talking shit.
Right. My whole family works for that company, so it's very near and dear to our hearts.
Mm-hmm. Damn. I've heard some interesting stuff about that plant and its politics that go with it.
Yeah, so have I.
I used to deliver a lot of equipment and drive truck and shit, and I used to have to deliver and pick up out there containers, equipment, and I've heard from a lot of the companies that work out there, they're cycling through like certain bunches of employees or companies because they don't want anybody to have full knowledge of what is actually being built.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's super bizarre.
I've heard things like that they have their own police force on the
Oh Lord.
on the plant. Which I mean, our company has its own like security team as well, but I mean, we're not referring to them as like police. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I don't know.
Oh,
We'll see how it goes.
That place is supposed to house something like 4,000 jobs.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
well,
I've been trying to get a second job, as ridiculous as that sounds, and as much as my schedule can handle it. I love working a second job because I used to work at Buffalo Chip. I used to work at Roadrunner. Worked at Melon Mushroom. I love restaurant jobs.
when did you work at the Chip?
I think up until like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Maybe? Mm-hmm.
I was head of security there
Really?
before it burned down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The day that it burned down was the week that I left.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
everybody, like, there was a joke floating around. They were like,
You burnt it down.
everybody texted me. They were like, did you, I know you didn't like working here. Did you fucking burn this bitch down?
Oh, that place is a shit show.
I was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And it's a shit show now because it's just so packed all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
It was a good time-ish, but glad it's in my review now.
And you were just a server out there?
I did like serving. I worked the buffet line. I did the ticketing for the bull riding. I started working there because my ex worked security. So he got me started there, and then we broke up, and I left. But then I needed money because I was moving. So then I went back, and then ended up leaving a little bit after.
So you've got quite the resume of options.
A little bit. It's a little diverse.
You said that you were taking psych classes just as shits and giggles, basically, just something to fill in.
Yeah.
What have you? Do you feel like you've taken anything away from that?
I feel like yes, but I feel like a lot of it came naturally, more so.
Okay.
It gives me a lot of like the technical knowledge, like the definitions with that kind of stuff, but as far as like how to deal with someone in a crisis and understanding where someone is psychologically,
Yeah.
that comes very naturally. That's not something that you can teach,
Oh.
I feel.
No, I mean, yeah, there's a certain level of intelligence that goes with it, but if you carry that with it, then
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing because one of the things the joke is, this is like it's like sit-in therapy, and people say that sometimes, which is fine. If it's therapeutic to somebody, then I'm not going to argue with it. But I in no way claim to be that position.
A lot of the time I'm the therapist for my friends, and so that's why when we were talking about me coming on here, I was like, oh, don't worry. You'll be talking more than I will. Because I ask the right questions, I feel like, all of the time that make people actually like think about what they're saying and like process.
If there was one thing that I would have liked to have, and these were two thoughts that were not nearly as connected as they should have been, but when I was younger, I always like had this wild thought about taking like psych classes and neurology classes and like shit that was way out of the ballpark for me, because I was not like.
What makes you say that though?
I'm not hugely book smart. I didn't retain a lot of the shit that they teach. Their teaching methods didn't vibe with me. I wasn't a school student, and it wasn't like just because I ditched or anything like that. I was there every day, all day, every day. I just didn't get the shit that they were teaching and the way they were teaching it.
Absolutely.
I always and they finally figured out, like, I think it was like halfway through my senior year, they're like, I think he's just not interested. I was like, wow. Took you guys this fucking long to figure that out?
Yeah.
We're in trouble. But I didn't graduate and get my GED. There's other reasons for all that shit, but
of course.
That was some of the stuff that I wanted to get into, and then here we are 12 years later, really trying to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say I'm book smart just because I can learn things very easily.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like actually applying myself to school and doing my homework and getting,
The
papers.
discipline part.
Me, dude, my ADHD kicks my ass. Hence why I have 2 papers due tonight and I'm here instead of, doing that. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like book smart is kind of relative just because it's all memorization.
Yeah.
You memorize it for 2 weeks before the test. You take the test and you completely forget everything.
Right.
Just like I've always said, why are we teaching kids like Pythagorean theorem or whatever the fucking schools,
That shit.
and not like how to do your taxes
Oh,
or you know how to get a mortgage.
I was
or,
making jokes about this like last week. It's like I really wish they would have taught me how to manage money when I was in school.
right?
That would have been something helpful.
Which I mean, there was like econ classes, but like it's definitely not the same.
Right.
And it's hard to engage high school, middle school kids, and you know how to manage your money.
Growing up, I think like there's so many different avenues that you can take when you get out of high school.
Yeah.
Not even on purpose, but like how high school honestly just doesn't feel as relevant as it should be.
Right.
Like the way I see it now, I just feel like what they should be doing is trying to tap into somebody's true potential and what they're truly interested in, rather than feeding everybody the same bullshit and figuring out who's going to get a degree over it.
Right. Absolutely.
Because if somebody would have really, you know, dug for, and I understand that what I'm asking is for huge personalization of a learning experience is probably more than most people are overqualified to deal with, which is another problem, you know. And then not to discredit teachers at all, because they're amazing people.
Right.
But
I mean, I feel like what you're suggesting isn't a huge ask. It's just differently grouping the classes that are already offered. Like the kids who are more inclined to athletic stuff, they could take sports med, XYZ.
Yep.
People who are more math based, you know,
Yeah.
focus on those instead of just having those be like electives for like the stuff that we're interested in. Well, I'm not saying like some people don't have to take math or anything like that, but I mean art, you know, you spend 1 hour a day in there or 2 hours a week in there, whatever it is.
right, fucking with clay or painting some bullshit.
Right.
And if that's not what somebody wants to do, then what are they gonna do?
Right.
Fucking nothing.
Right. Sit there and earn an F in that class
Right.
or just pass, waste their time.
Mm-hmm.
But
So it would have been interesting to see what that kind of stuff would have yielded, rather than algebra. Weirdly enough, I did good in writing.
I love writing.
Yeah.
I've recently rediscovered my love for writing because I'm taking an English 102 class right now.
That's pretty
Just
awesome.
for shits and giggles and a communications course. But I figured out I do love writing when I get to, you know, pick what I'm writing about. So I'm doing like the effects social media has on adolescents' mental health.
Ooh. Ooh, that's gonna be a fucking hard one.
Yeah, that's what I'm writing right now. It's really relevant, really interesting.
Yeah,
my
super
niece
relevant.
is like, she's 6, 7, and my nephew's like 3, about to be 4. So, you know, it's definitely relevant.
I'm with my son. I'm trying to. He's 8, so I'm trying to. How do you say fucking play along with the way the new generation kind of has been raised?
Yeah.
And not necessarily like on the sarcastic end of it, but they're immersed in the technology. They didn't have a choice. That's what they know. So I'm trying to kind of play on that rather than fight it.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's hard teaching a world that you weren't raised in.
right. And that's the thing is like I can piss and moan all day about how we used to get locked outside.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he doesn't know what that is.
Right.
And that's not his fault. So,
And it's also a very different world. Like, things like sex trafficking weren't as prevalent,
yeah.
at least in like the news. And
Seems like that sprung up about 10 years ago.
right. Crazy. My mom literally always raised me. She's like, don't get sex trafficked whenever I'd go anywhere. And I'm like,
You're
Mom,
what?
that's not okay.
What? You can't say that.
She tells me that all the time. And now I have to lecture. I'm not sure if you know my roommate, Sam, but I tell her that all the time. She would go on like a first date with a guy and like go meet him like at a park, like off a Dunlap, because she's not from here. So she doesn't know like the bad areas. But like she was going to go meet him at like some park. And I was like, Sam, you're going to get sex trafficked. Tell him to meet you at like Yogurtini or like a Starbucks or something. Something better than a park. You're about to be 30 years old. There's no reason you need to be meeting at a park.
Right.
But
No more swing sets, okay?
right. There's no reason a grown man should be trying to meet at a park. That's either for kids or to get trafficked. So
Yeah.
either scenario is bad.
It's a strange world we live in.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And trying to like help a child navigate that is ridiculous.
It's weird, but I'm almost like just kind of letting him take the reins
Yeah.
and just kind of navigating, hopefully navigating a little bit with him.
Yeah.
He's smart. That most of them are really fucking smart.
Yeah.
Which is an issue.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's. I don't want to fight it on. I don't want to fight him on it. It's only gonna get more technological from here.
Yeah.
So
all you can really do is support him.
Right.
What I've really like tried doing with my niece, because she's been my mini me since she was born. Like, would walk past her parents' room to me on their couch. Like, that's how close we are, and we still are. Like, she has my face, literally. I don't know if
that's funny.
I have a picture of her on my wallpaper right now, but she's my mini me. So when it comes to like my family, if they like mess around and get too much or hurt someone's feelings or whatever, they're always like, oh, just like come hug it out. And I was like, no, like she's not ready. She'll come to you when she's ready. Like, she's fine. But yeah, my family is super huge for me, but I'll find a picture later. So just trying to help like set those boundaries. Not that I know best, but I mean, her mom's not going to do it, so I have to.
Whoops. One thing I wanted to acknowledge though, being able to understand how somebody is in trauma or crisis or something like that. You said that's something that came kind of natural to you.
Yeah.
That is a super helpful tool, because in the midst of all this and everything that I'm trying to accomplish, I cannot. I don't know how to handle that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can just from what I've been around and kind of what I've been through, I can kind of point it out.
Yeah.
Approaching it correctly, whole different fucking ballgame. That is not something I'm good at.
Approaching it correctly is kind of a harder thing to do, just because it depends on the person, depends on the situation, and everyone handles it differently.
Yep.
But I try to be very rational and very logical with my thinking and the way I react. Like, even in relationships, there's no screaming, there's no arguing, there's no insulting each other. If we're having a disagreement, it is a misunderstanding and a disagreement. It's not a, I'm insulting you, you can call me a bitch, and we can raise our voices at each other.
Yeah.
It's never that.
Yeah.
I don't know, my friends always just think I always know what to do, even though I'm so young. I'm 23, but like my friends, she's 30 years old, just got a DUI. She had me going to the courthouse with her to like essentially play her lawyer and like help her figure out what to do.
Really?
Yeah. And like one of our friends was struggling with an addiction to alcohol.
Oh shit.
And so they called me and they're like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, where are you at? Send me, like, I'll be right there. Dropped everything I was doing, went there, got her admitted into rehab that night. Like, stuff I've never done or never dealt with, but for some reason I know exactly what to do and how to handle it correctly.
I mean, some people just have that human connection, and that's a really big thing that I support here. That's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to start this. I'm just not that person. I'm rough around the edge.
Yeah. Like
pretty heavily. My story is just as wild as anybody else's, and I just don't have that soft.
Yeah.
I can help you. I have solutions to your problems, but my approach to it is not going to be quite as nice as probably what yours is.
I can't even say if mine's really nice, to be honest. Mine's half the time brutal honesty. Like, if you want to go back and forth with your boyfriend or girlfriend, but every time you're not with them, you want to talk about how you don't like this about them or how you don't like that about them.
Yeah, that
like,
shit.
You don't like them at the end of the day. Like, I'm gonna tell you that. Like,
I'm learning as I get a little bit older how little like I really want to find myself outside of confrontation.
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy for it anymore.
Yep.
And not even in a relationship. I'll have a conversation with anybody and we can talk, we can be as frank as we need to be, but there's really fucking no need to just get to that level.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much better you want to look than me.
Yeah.
It's just, if that's where it goes, then I'm walking away. So.
I mean, I'm a girl, so it's a little different, but I've never been a fighter.
Yeah.
I've never had to be, never wanted to be, never needed to be.
Well, I mean, to be on the opposing side of that,
yeah.
Most girls, prefer to look like the shiny nickel
right.
out of a fight.
Of course.
So, I mean, I can't really say much better for most guys either.
Yeah, that's fair. I will not talk like I can fight, but I will talk my shit if needed.
Right.
But usually I don't have to get it to that level. Usually it dissipates before that. Just because I'm not going to waste my time. I have too much to lose for that.
That's another thing, too, is like, I want to know when people end up in these confrontations, like, what's the end game here?
Yeah.
And if it's something like at a bar and we'd go down that whole fucking road, I'm also like, what are you going to do? Like, you guys are going to get into it and you're going to hit him in the face and what? Maybe possibly kill him?
Right.
Do you understand where that's going to lead you?
Or, okay, he hit you harder than you hit him.
Right.
Now you look stupid. Are you going to go back into that bar? Like,
You guys both have black eyes and it's going to suck tomorrow.
yeah,
I don't know. Confrontation is just, it's seemingly pointless in my opinion.
I agree, especially at a bar.
Yes, that situation is always pointless.
Yeah.
That shit never ends well with alcohol.
Oh, it's so funny to me because people will put themselves in situations where I'm like, you are going to make yourself look stupid.
Right.
And I'm not going to be here to watch that.
I don't know. I don't babysit no more.
Right. That's
Well-
all I do. It's exhausting.
Pull yourself out now.
I can't. That's the person I am. I will always look out for people. Like, at the end of the day, that's who I'm at. It's who I am. As much as I hate it, as much as it's draining.
I've adopted the Irish goodbyes pretty well.
I've noticed. Fucker.
I don't do it to everybody. I don't do it to just everybody. I do it to my friends too.
Oh, no, I know. I did hear about that too. I had to take him home. Or I was going to take him home. But,
I do it to fucking everybody.
fucker, if I wasn't in my truck at that point, I wouldn't have never known you left. I was like, what the
That's
fuck
so
is
funny.
happening?
My reputation precedes me.
You know, the cupcake driving away is kind of a dead giveaway.
There's no cupcakes no more.
No?
No, they're off.
Wow.
Yeah, so making strides.
Look at you go.
Well, its name before was Snow Bunny, which is no better.
That's still
That's
fantastic.
so worse.
Is it though? That's kind of great.
Yeah, they're both appealing in their own way.
My truck's name is Mighty Mouse.
Mighty
she's-
Mouse?
Yep, because she's tiny, but she's got a lot of oomph in her.
That makes sense because I saw snaps a while back and I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Yep. That was probably my tire blow. I was like, come on,
she
Mighty
keeps
Mouse.
talking about Mighty Mouse. I'm like, what the fuck is... I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that's my truck's name.
That's funny.
We love her. She's fantastic.
What high school did you go to?
Sandra Day O'Connor.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we were closer in age, I'd say there might have been some potential interaction, but probably not.
How old are you? I've asked you this, but I definitely forgot.
That's all right. I'm 35.
Okay.
So
That's usually my age range.
I would have graduated in 06.
I was born in 2000, so I would have been 6 years old. That's a
Great.
horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like no one really expects me to be 23 when I say it, which sounds so cliche.
You definitely have the old soul vibe,
Mm-hmm.
so that's cool. I've
Is
met
it?
yeah. I've met a couple of people in my life that have like that old soul. I for some reason get along way better with old people, more than I do fucking anybody young.
I can't stand people my age or younger.
Yeah,
I feel like the whole old soul thing just means I'm less annoying than people my age. Like,
I don't because it's so weird because I get along with them on a fucking weird level that I don't even like.
yeah.
I'm gonna be an asshole. Half the time, I don't want to hear their fucking stories.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I know you're 60. It's awesome.
So, can we just point out how you just said you don't want to hear their stories and yet you're doing a podcast to hear people's
Fuck
stories?
me.
Uh-huh. Just want to...
But I'm talking like if I'm sitting at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving forward. I deserve that.
I'm just pointing it out.
I deserve that.
And see, those are the conversations I love most, is like the unprovoked, just kind of fall into them. So I was in same company that I'm in now, but in the medical side of things, in customer service. And we talked to doctors, to patients, to hospitals. Proud of you.
Trash can said, fuck off.
Yeah. Said fucking pay attention.
Yep.
And a patient called in one day and he was looking to get one of our devices for his son who was in the military, just came home with really severe PTSD. I sat on the phone with this man for like 45 minutes to an hour, just talking to him, hearing his story, being there for him. And it was probably the best call I've had in that company. Just being able to connect to someone like that is one of my favorite things to do. That's why I agreed to be on here.
Well, good. I'm glad you did. There's like I have like moods about me.
Mm-hmm.
There are some days where I don't want to hear a fucking voice, and I try, even in the midst of that feeling, to be a genuinely good person. You know, I try to put on my customer service face, and whatever the case, but. I don't know. I'm weird.
I mean, everyone goes through moods like that. I do, especially. My mood swings are severe. This fucking mic.
Both the mic stands are fucking broke.
Not even that. I'm just not used to having something in my face like that, and I hate.
Well, they're not supposed to do this.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, they're both fucking broken. So I have to redo. Anyway.
It's okay. Anyways, yeah, I love those kind of times. It depends though. Sometimes I'm like, please stop fucking talking to me.
I think like. This is going to sound really bad too, but if I'm not here doing this, which I do love doing, I typically don't stop moving. So if I'm out somewhere doing something, then I'm doing something.
Yeah. And
it's like I get on my friend's ass too if I'm in the middle of doing shit and they keep fucking calling me because everybody wants to have 20-minute conversations.
Don't bug you, got it.
And I'm like, no. This is I'll text it. I'll mix my text all day. I'll fucking respond to that shit. But typically, if I'm out and about, or even if I just don't stop.
Yeah, that's fair.
My friends give me so much shit. They're like, "Are you gonna sit down at any point in time?" I'm like,
no, thank you.
No.
If I do, I'm asleep.
If I'm awake, I'm trying to make money.
That's fair.
And it's not a good habit.
I mean, it's not a bad one. Staying busy isn't the worst thing you can do, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, what are you running from?
Yeah. No, you're 100% probably dancing on a line that I don't want to get into.
Like I said, ask the right kind of questions.
It keeps my my mental going other places.
Yeah. Keeps you distracted.
Yep.
Which is really common.
Sure does.
I feel like everyone does that. I mean, even same for me. I'll be going through my own shit, but I'll be helping, everyone else just to avoid dealing with the stuff that I have to deal with.
You just kind of learn how to harness it.
Yeah.
Which is probably equally not a good habit.
I mean, there's worse things you can do. Like, drugs.
I'm really thinking about dabbling.
Sometimes you just gotta dip your toe in.
I've been watching way too much Breaking Bad, okay? I'm real close.
Listen, you said you like making money.
Dude.
There you go.
About to go buy a fucking RV. No, but I ask myself probably more often than not what it would be like if that, air quotes, docket was clear.
Yeah.
What that looks like. I don't have any clue even how to. Yeah, I know this is why I'm not professional at this, because I don't know what it looks like to get into that. I don't know what it looks like to clear it or to feel better about it or whatever the case may be or how that works.
So,
get a therapist.
No, not at all, because that's what I'm here for.
That's what a therapist needs a therapist.
Always.
Fuck.
Listen, I've had one. I feel like everyone has one. It's not a bad thing to have.
I've had people tell me that too.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to people's shit so much. They're like, have you thought about you? Nope.
That's why you ask everyone else.
Yep, I'm listening.
I mean, there's been, 2 or 3 questions that I've asked that you're like, I don't want to get into that. Yep. But anyways.
That's not today's episode.
It can be.
You got to come back for that.
Say less.
So.
We'll get into those stories. Trust me. See, I wouldn't expect to get into the stories on such a public setting, like something that would be broadcasted out to the world, because most of the time it's, intimate topics and sensitive subjects, which, isn't for everyone's ears.
But that's what I'm out here doing.
Yes and no.
Those topics and those intimate topics and those subjects, they connect with the people that need it the most.
Absolutely.
And I'll share my story. I don't have any hesitation doing that. I'll give you a little bit of insight, but not right now.
That's fine.
It's really, strangely enough, been getting brought up more and more.
By you or other people?
I've come across quite a handful of people that have been asking me. There is an episode on me. One of my buddy. Actually, you might know Zach.
Morgan.
This also happens pretty often. I'm like, you might fucking know him. Yeah, Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was along for a better half of most of the beginning of this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a really big part of this. And one episode, he was like, you know what? We're gonna talk about you. Fuck.
It's literally my intention when I came here. I told you that before I got here. Also, that fucker, Zach.
Yeah.
He just reached back out to me because once he got a girl, he disappeared. And now he's trying to go out for his birthday on Thursday.
Yeah.
So if you would like to go.
He did fucking. He was like, be here Thursday. I was like, I'm
Country
sorry.
finder.
I'm going Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be there Thursday.
Oh, this is gonna be a long fucking week.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I have no problem. You can. I'll give you the next episode. You can ask all the questions you want.
We'll see.
You don't wanna?
No, I probably will. But the kind of questions I will ask will kind of depend on what I process from here.
Okay.
Because, like, they have to be relevant questions, you know, for it to make sense. You can't just be arbitrarily, what's your biggest trauma, you know?
You can.
No.
Weirdly enough, as time goes on, this is helping me understand a little bit more about the shit that I went through.
Yeah.
And it's bringing up the questions that I have for everybody else, which is super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You are processing through other people's perspectives.
I am, and that's probably a weird way to say I'm using everybody. No.
You're gaining from the people's knowledge.
No, yeah, and that's another big part of why I started this, is because if I'm not going to be able to understand a certain amount of shit on my own, then I'm going to use everybody's experiences as a conduit and try and figure out, you know, why we are who we are.
Right.
And it's so fucking difficult because every single person operates 120% differently.
Absolutely.
And it's making it a real challenge.
I
love the challenge.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I would call it a challenge. I would say it makes it more interesting.
Oh, super interesting.
So my mom used to call me a black widow.
Ooh.
Because,
Oh.
oh yeah.
That's not good.
Super flattering. Because I would meet someone, talk to them for 2 weeks, and they would start confiding in me, telling me their, you know, experiences, stories, what have you. And I would learn everything that I could, and then bounce. Like, I would just lose interest. Not intentionally. But
No, yeah.
I was young, and that's always what would happen. And I still, like, I feel like it's still kind of true, except I don't exactly lose interest. It's just things happen, always. Whether I have a falling out with that person or, yeah, things happen.
I mean, it's an interesting twist on expediting potential connection. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you understand more than most, which it seems to be, that you would be able to tell early on. At least you're not fucking using like 3 or 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
You know, because I've become quite good at that.
Oh,
like
God.
3 years in, I'm not doing this anymore.
Oof.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. Well, I can say I've definitely done that with a handful of people.
Yeah, so, I mean, learning what you desire early on is not the worst thing.
Yeah, and I mean...
And it's not from malice, is it?
No, never.
Right.
And it's like usually like a genuine interest, or they just end up confiding in me, or just, you know, looking for a friend, and it happens to be me. Even if it's like a random person at a bar. Like, I've sat outside talking for 30 minutes because this person was by themselves, ended up talking to me, and I just couldn't get out of the conversation.
Like, help?
Pretty much. I've literally SOS'd my friends before, and it definitely sometimes it doesn't even work. But
Oh, that's funny.
it's a gift and a curse, I guess. I love being able to be there for people, but in return, I feel like I don't get it a lot.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
I'm
see
always the
that.
one that people call for help, but when I'm struggling, it's like, cool, I'm sorry you're struggling, but I still need help.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes.
There's a... No, we're not going to go down that analogy.
Oh?
One thing that is super blunt that my brother told me probably like a couple years ago. I went and had dinner with my brother, and I was talking to him
Older, younger?
about I'm the baby. So if you hear brother, then my oldest brother's like fucking 55.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Hmm.
he's been on here a bunch of times. Dirty D, if you listening, talking about you, bitch.
Not Dirty D.
Dirty D. We were having dinner, and I started talking about like my dating situation and how shitty I am at it, and I just started bouncing ideas off him. And he's a simple guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, I'm not gonna, simple minded is not the right word because he's not fucking retarded.
Straightforward.
He's intelligent.
Yeah.
And he's just simple. He doesn't live outside of his means. He fucking parties. He loves his life. He has a good time.
Yeah.
And all he said was, "No, don't do that. You don't want a project."
Yep.
And I was like, "Fuck, man, that's fucked up."
But he's not wrong.
Yeah, I know. That's what bit me the hardest was. I was like, "God damn it." It just stuck with me so hard, and
Yeah.
I feel bad for feeling that way.
I guess the analogy makes it sound harsher than it is, but it's completely correct. I mean,
Yeah.
I always say I'm the home for broken boys because, I mean, I'm very put together for my age, and I have my shit together. I have a good job. My truck's paid off. It's a very new truck. I have a good family, like good head on my shoulders, whatever. I'm very put together. And yet I always find the motherfuckers who are between jobs or have a beat up car or can't really get anywhere in life or, have a drinking problem or wants to fight all the time or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And so I'm always okay, let's get it together. You're fine.
Fuck.
Help him get a better job. Ooh, what's that? Help him get a better, sorry, I saw the gun.
Saw the gun? Oh, they're just air rifles.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah, that's
Ooh,
me.
Piece of candy.
Pretty much.
I'm honestly, I'm the same. I'm Captain Save-A-Ho.
That's what I say.
Yeah. They
I always go,
the joke and all of our friends, I swear to God, you can ask any of them, is you want to move in? You want a truck?
oh God,
I'm so bad.
I'm not that bad.
I'm so bad. And
I'll put in all my time
not-
and energy to you, but
I'm not going to say
damn.
anything negative about any of my exes because that's not what I'm here trying to do. But my habits are garbage.
oh God.
Like trash. And yeah.
That kind of makes
So
more sense then.
he was like, no more projects. And I was like, all right.
So as I said,
Fuck.
your friends were trying to pimp you out.
Yeah.
My comment was, I don't really think I'm his type. And they were like, that's the point. I was like, I don't really know what you mean by that, but okay.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
I understand. Yeah. What do you said that when you were talking to your brother that you are not good with your dating habits. Or that you're not good at this, the whole dating thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
I think underlying issues control the way I think about things. And that's super vague.
Yeah. I was going to say, which direction do I want to go there? The underlying issues or the...
What's a good starting point for that?
Like, okay, do you mean with picking them or how you act in them or the way you react and treat?
You know, I'll say this is maybe a little vague too, but one thing I'm really good at is seeing the potential in situations.
Yeah.
Super good at that. And I can do it with a car, I can do it with a truck,
Yeah.
I can do it with a house, I can do it with a girl. And I see the potential, and I have hope, and I have expectations.
You like fixer-uppers.
And then those expectations usually shoot me in the foot. It's a me problem, for sure. I
don't think it's bad seeing the good in people.
And I think at the core, that's really what I'm like, where I'm at with it. Is it's like, I just see, I choose to see the better in people, or at least what I think I see. And then something else that typically kind of happens to me, and I'm not really sure why, is I'll get a completely different image in the beginning.
Yikes.
And then things over time change a little bit.
Yeah.
And
They always say people can only hide who they are for 3 months.
I think that's fucking creepily accurate. But as I'm getting older, I'm beginning. My eyes are fucking open now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's thank God I'm a late bloomer, Because I'm 35, but thank God I'm starting to see things a little clearer because it's getting expensive.
No, not that. I mean, my mom has always said, like, you won't want the same thing in your 20s as you do in your 30s, and same thing for your 30s to 40s. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a growing experience dating, but I can definitely say the whole fixer-upper thing is definitely my jam, too, unfortunately, a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I never really understood that. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero idea why, but it's just I didn't really have any like guidelines growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any like hands to hold.
Mm-hmm.
I was living with my brother by the time I was 17,
Okay.
so I learned how to party early.
Yeah. Not so much how to pick them early.
Yep. I did not. Nobody taught me how to adult,
Uh-huh.
so I was just,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I feel like that's very true for a lot of people these days. Just because they're so headstrong and like fuck you, I don't need to, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I know better, you don't know me, whatever.
Mhm.
People never want to learn.
Nope.
Which is the issue for my age. Everyone is out of whack. Okay, first of all, I always say people lose their minds in their late 20s because everyone I know is losing jobs, getting pregnant, getting DUIs, going to jail, like X, Y, and Z, just losing their minds in their late 20s, and I'm terrified of experiencing that. But that is the age group that I end up gravitating towards because people my age I can't deal with them. I just can't. So I've always like gravitated towards older people.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, I do find like an established 28-year-old isn't gonna like look at a 23-year-old and be like, yeah, fuck it, we'll have fun. Like, so it's always the fixer-uppers. It's very rare that I find people on my level.
That was it's an interesting time frame because I can't speak for the generations now, but when I grew up, 30 was like, if you don't have kids and a house and shit like that, by 30,
it's slowly inching back.
yeah, you're running late.
Yeah.
So it's almost like panic ensues,
Mm-hmm.
and then shortly after 30, I mean, at least for me, or probably for most males, shortly after 30, you fucking open your eyes a little bit and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Things become a little clearer. At least, like I said, that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't remember my 20s. Hardly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I fucking don't. There's not one or two things that I can recall from my... I had a house with my friends.
Uh-huh.
That's about all I recall.
Oh, God. And see, I think that's really true for women as well in that age group because it's the pressure of having a baby. It's the pressure of settling down.
Mm-hmm.
Not only, like, biologically, but society-wise. And, like, my roommate keeps saying, I want a baby, I want a baby, I want a baby. And I'm like, do you? Or is that what you're supposed to want right now?
Right.
And because... not in my house. You're not bringing a baby into my house. I'll tell you that for free.
That's the biggest problem is the expectation, in my opinion.
The pressure and the expectation, for sure. It's a very different world than what our parents, our aunts, uncles, whatever, grew up in and got married in and bought houses in. Like, you can't compare getting an apartment for $800, $400 when they were renting versus me.
Those days are long gone.
Yeah, paying $1,800 for a 2-bed, 2-bath. It's astronomically different.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're making more, but like we said, the cost of living is trash.
Super trash. The one thing I will speak for though is the level of convenience these days is
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's harnessed correctly. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I went to live with my brother, we didn't have phones.
Yeah.
So that was a whole different fucking
You
ballgame.
just aged yourself so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had the goddamn Nokia that everybody makes fun of.
Yeah.
That was my first phone. So.
I mean, I was growing up right at that cusp, so like we were still outside, but we had like a flip phone.
Yeah.
And then gradually got more in depth, but I mean, these kids now are just growing up with screens in their faces 24/7. Even me now, I constantly have a screen in my face, whether it's my phone for entertainment, my laptop for school, my laptop for work, my TV for entertainment. It's constant.
I can't say I don't either. I mean, most of the time, being a tow truck driver for so long, there's a couple of companies I work for. I used to have 2 phones while I was driving all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I do. I work on phone.
People are like, how do you text and drive? I'm like, it's fucking normal. I don't know. How do you not?
Yeah. Right. It's just multitasking at this point.
Yeah. Can you do you not multitask? Because I have to.
Right.
All the time.
1,000%. I'm constantly going at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
I'm hardly sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I have such a shit sleep schedule. Ever since I was a baby, my mom said my days and nights have always been switched. So, sleeping's fucking rough for
Preach.
me. Even last night, I went to bed at like 5:30-ish. Had to be up by 7 for my first meeting. And then took a nap until like noon.
Fuck.
Yeah.
If it was 5:30 and I had a meeting at 7, I'd have been like, I'm just staying up.
Half the time I do, but
God, I miss those days.
it depends on what kind of crack I have to do throughout the day to stay awake, whether it's taking my Adderall or energy drinks or whatever. And then I have to be careful because I have heart issues. So that's a own devil in itself.
Yeah.
Which is always fun.
Well, fuck. Were you born out here?
Technically born in California, raised in... Is it technically? I never lived out there.
That's all right.
Raised in Arizona and Chicago.
Chicago? I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I feel like
Full of curveballs.
I feel like you told me that already.
Probably.
I don't know. I was born in Cali too.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fucker.
I was only out there for a year. Every time I talk to my mom, it changes, so I don't fucking know.
What?
Yeah. She's like, you were born out there? I think we moved out here, and at first I thought it was like 93 or 94.
Uh-huh.
And I thought I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that would have made me 6. So now I'm really confused. But then the last time I talked to her, she's like, oh, yeah, you were a year when we moved out here. I'm like, what?
Just don't think too hard about it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know I was like months old when I moved out of California. And then my mom and dad split up. So my dad was in Chicago. My mom was here. Spent most of my time here. But like holidays and stuff, I'd go out there.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's traveling.
Flying by myself. Well, I mean, I have traveled, but yeah. When I was young, it was quite the flight by myself.
Yeah, I'd say.
Shit sucked.
What age were you taking that flight at?
Young. I don't even remember, if I'm being completely honest. I don't remember much. But
Did they give you like a chauffeur?
yeah, I mean, so it happens all the time.
It was a normal thing.
Yeah, minors traveling by themselves.
Okay.
You get like, you know, your parents walk you to the gate. You get on the plane. It's essentially like a flight attendant. It's like, you know, I'm here if you need me.
You have to pay extra for that?
I know. I was like 6.
Fair.
What?
Fair
Come on.
enough. Sorry.
You're fine. But then my other parent would have to meet me at the other gate, like on the other side, and just pick me up right at the door.
That's strange. I didn't know that was normal.
Yeah, I mean, it was my normal. So I don't know exactly.
Well, I mean,
how normal
I'm
that
sure
is.
it's fucking normal.
Yeah.
It's a world I've.
Oh, it's called an unaccompanied unaccompanied minor.
Hmm.
Is what it is.
That's really trusting of everybody.
Oh yeah.
The whole situation to me is like,
There you could in a plane.
good luck.
Pretty much. I mean, how much trouble can you really get in on a plane?
Fuck if I know.
Have you not been on a plane?
Once when I was way too young.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so. I drive everywhere,
Okay, where have you gone?
but I also don't travel very often.
See, the places I travel to, I cannot get to by car. I've been to Spain, Barcelona multiple times. Been to Ibiza.
Wow.
Been to Japan.
I am out of line.
Hawaii.
That's pretty awesome.
I've been very blessed, for sure.
The farthest I've been is Texas.
Okay.
East
I've never been.
East
so
Texas.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
there's a lot of driving out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm
looks like
sure
it.
you can use your imagination.
Yeah.
Fucking- Ta-da.
The most I've driven to is either California or Las Vegas. Yeah.
Frequent Vegas. Used to frequent Cali. I don't anymore.
My family goes every year during the summer. We rent a beach house, multiple beach houses, and
In
our
Cali?
whole family goes. Yeah, Mission Beach.
Duh. It wouldn't be Vegas.
You're brilliant.
I don't know what happened there.
That's okay.
Um,
It's a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family goes out to Cali and Vegas pretty frequently.
I spent some time in Iowa. But that like doesn't count for anything.
I feel like that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I don't know a
it
single
shouldn't
person
exist.
from Iowa.
Yeah. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm staring at
There's
it.
nothing there.
Yeah.
They
I
have
can't-
99 counties. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
what
that just
they're-
like a fun fact?
I don't know what they're doing out there. But it's
How many does Arizona have in comparison?
corn for what?
How many does Arizona have in comparison?
Fuck, I don't like. I think we only have like 8.
Why the fuck do you know Iowa's compared to?
I spent like a year and a half out there, and it was the
And-
most interesting place I've ever lived. First of all,
I was not expecting that. Why?
I don't know. Good, 45-minute cornfield, new little town. 45-minute cornfield, new little town.
That's fair.
It's actually kind of fun
Why?
because it's so much different than here.
That's fair.
And
Anyway,
it seems like any given small town that they have out there
Mm-hmm.
has some kind of a drug problem
oh, good.
because there's nothing to do.
Uh huh.
Have you been to Mill? Yes.
Yes.
So out there they
Mm-hmm.
have 2 state. They have Iowa State. Oh fuck, and the University of Iowa.
15 counties.
Like we have U of A and ASU.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes.
And NAU. Come on now. Put some
fourth of-
respect on it. Put some respect on it.
All right. We drive 45 minutes north into town, to college town, and they had their version of Mill was Welch. That was an interesting sound.
It was. I apologize.
So that was fun.
Welch.
Welch.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got drunk there a lot. Them white people know how to party because there's nothing else to do.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, the same could be said for Arizona. I mean, look at Cherry Bombers.
That's where we go to die.
Facts. Tis a shit show.
Anyway, so we're not sure if we're gonna come back yet.
I mean, I'll come back.
Okay,
It's just I'm not sure whose story we're sharing first.
that's fine. We dabbled in a little bit of yours. It's like I have a lot of younger guests on,
I've noticed.
so
Yeah.
it's kind of fun, but it's kind of, I don't want to say shallow. It's not the right word. It's
Surface.
You guys have so much left to live. So
To be fair,
to be fair,
fantastic show. I wouldn't say in the nicest way. I wouldn't say you have gotten much deeper though. I mean, you had opportunities to go deeper or to open up, but you stayed surface level.
are you talking about my story?
Yeah, I mean, you said that for younger people, it's not shallow, but surface level stuff, which is true. But the same could be said for you.
So I'm keeping it that way for now.
For why?
Just because my story is complicated.
Isn't everyone's?
Yes, I just have a little bit more unfortunate time involved.
I
No,
feel like
I mean, I'm talking on a physical level.
no, I know. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I know what you
It's
mean.
like, why is she being an asshole right now?
I'm always an asshole. Get used to it.
That's fine. That's how I communicate with people.
Oh,
If you're being an
good.
asshole, I'm being an asshole. This is great.
Perfect. Speaking the same language.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
I do not.
You can plug anything you want.
I don't plug.
You don't.
I don't.
Why? That was
I
like deja vu because somebody else just said that. I'm like, why not?
I don't have
I'm
anything to plug.
Giving you a platform.
I'll plug this. I don't know what else do you want to plug.
Thank you. Do you have Facebook?
Barely.
Do you
Not
have
really.
what social medias are you on?
Instagram, Snapchat. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I mean, I have a Facebook. I just don't use it.
Do I have you on Insta?
I don't know. Probably.
Because
Maybe.
you're gonna get tagged and shit.
Oh, great. I will give you my Insta.
Just follow me and I'll follow back.
That would require me needing to know your information.
Me versus me pod.
So instead of grabbing my phone and typing it, you just wanted to
I was just gonna close out and then I'll
tell
do
me.
it.
It's fine.
All right. Well, for everybody listening, the assholes are closing out.
This was a great time. Thank you, friend.
Yeah. I'm super glad you came on,
Me too.
and I look forward to talking to you a little bit more the next time. I will tell you more about me next time.
Deal. Maybe I will. We'll see.
Maybe. We're
Maybe.
not sure yet.
Yeah.
As always, anybody listening, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave comments on any platform you're listening on. Or email me at meversusmeinfo@gmail.com. Like I said, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen. And yeah.
And
I do this every fucking time.
And thanks for listening.
And always thanks for
There you
listening.
go.
I was going to say something. Oh, Spotify, for anybody that has been following their progress, will be offering transcriptions soon. And they will be doing different languages soon as well. So, super excited to share the debut of that with the listeners. They already do for anybody that has hearing impaired issues. You usually can follow along in the reading captions that are below the screen.
Proud of you.
Fuck. So.
And he wants to speak for a living.
Fucking
To a mic.
trying to plug Spotify right now. So. Anyway, thanks for listening. We love you.